we're gonna need to do some blood vial farming. Get the saw. Well, can't get the saw until I get to the DLC, Mad Hot, and this is a permadeath run, so yeah. Can't access the DLC at this point, nor would it be advisable for me to do so if we could access the DLC. But I appreciate your enthusiasm for the whirligig saw. Alright, I watched my friend almost one-hit a boss with it. To be honest, if people count Yahargal dead, then you need to count Seath dead in Dark Souls as well.
Welcome. What?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, you could count that, like, because you would then, I guess, like, it's kind of different, because in order, you can do either one without dying, but in Dark Souls you have to do the Duke skip, which,
Very well,
while possible, is technically an exploit. So I don't know how fair it is to include that.
Welcome. What? Very well.
Alright. So next we need to go Upper Cathedral Ward. The moment you fight the boss, I get a call. Gosh, work. So as you're still alive and kicking, you made it, right? Congrats in that case. Yes, I did make it. It was not pretty, as someone in the chat pointed out. I think it was the Memetim, yeah. Very aptly put that it wasn't pretty, but I got it done. It started pretty. I was landing my parries, but alright, so we're going to the Cathedral Ward. It was when we faced the Bloodstarved Beast in Bloodborne, Let's Talk Lore. I killed the boss at the same time the boss killed me. So we're not going to bother with the Communion Rune, because it's the Communion Rune, and only the first level. Yes, that's right, Mad Hot, we're doing a permadeath run. Oh, I just said we're not going to bother with the Communion Rune. What's the other rune that's on the Formless Odin room, I think? One that I don't need, I remember that at least. Whoa, that camera almost screwed me up there. Managed to do the exact same this weekend. Alfred, Beast, and me all died nearly the exact same time, 100% wiped. I didn't realize you'd started playing DFH. Does that mean that you beat, the Scholar of the First Sin? Yes it is, Matt Hot, but it's confusing by design. Formless Odin, I don't even remember what that does. It, replenish Quicksilver bullets on visceral attacks or something? All I know is I tend not to use any of those ones, although I might need to rely a little bit more on them because, yeah, more Quicksilver, okay, so, but as the first level one, it's not really worth it. But I tend to do suicide runs. Nope, play both of them at the moment. Difficult decision every time I turn on the PS4, I can only imagine. How far are you in Scholar, DFH? Visceral one is Odin Writhe. I know that one replenishes your HP. There's one I believe that replenishes Quicksilver bullets as well, if I'm remembering that correctly. Almost ending the permadeath run to trash mobs. That's half the fun of this. Oh, okay. Okay, I stand corrected. Thank you, the Memtim. No, the story is by design that way. There's no trolling. spider is dead, not that far. I'm currently just running around for the Rat King. Okay, cool. Have you summoned anyone yet? I remember having lots of fun when the game first came out in the I was gonna say the Rat King Covenant, the Rat King Covenant. Well, yeah, they troll us in general with several things. Yeah, I hated the Duke's Dear Freya when I first started. Stupid guy. Trying to get the jump on me. Why can't you play this game? Yeah, I don't know what's up with the Ring of Betrothal. It must be cut content. Can't really think of any other explanation for it. Alright, so we're gonna go hit up the abandoned old workshop. Get ourselves some souls by selling the doll's clothing. Only beat Dark Souls by cheesing bosses with magic. Well, that's not... You know, like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but... You can play the game again and it'll be a completely different experience if you play it melee. I'm a big advocate of melee, but... It's not up to me to tell anyone how they should or shouldn't play the game. But if you've only played it with magic, I would suggest giving melee a shot. The elephant, the rat, and me are good friends. Going to make a little vid of the gang soon. Cool, looking forward to that. I'm happy to hear that there's still some activity in the Rat King. It's hard as hell, but that's the point. You get better at it, and then you improve, and it's more satisfying when you win. So the run could end right here. The Memtim. So the run could end right here. This is a big risk I'm taking for not a lot of souls, but... Fuck it. Let's do it. Well, PvP with only sorcery is a joke in Dark Souls 1. It is a long wait. Yeah, that's what I figured. But that it is a fun thing about streaming. The wait is filled with talking awesome people. That's a good way of looking at it. That's the major. Yeah, always having to wait in between them. But the source of the dream. Get ourselves a doll set. An old hunter's bone. Ooh, which I need to remind myself, I want to try and use that when... fighting Maria in Let's Talk Lore. I need to remember to do that. You can see your index finger twitching. No, Dark Souls 1 is really easy. Dark Souls 2 is... You could make it easy in Dark Souls 2. That's why I prefer just low-level PvP. I would turn into a tree and one peeps with Crystal Soul Spear. You're the type of people I'm not fond of while PvPing in the forest. Alright, so now that we got the doll set, it gives you an obscene number of echoes, so might as well sell that. Yeah, the fact that they had to add, after the fact, they added the dark magic, as opposed to it actually being built into the systems of the game from the get-go, I think that made a big difference.
Welcome. Very well.
Yeah, couldn't you start with the royal and like just wreck everything from the outset?
Fair. Welcome. What?
Dark beat is not
me.
balanced whatsoever.
Welcome. Very well.
And by saying that, I can tell that you're trolling, Matt.
Fair.
Okay, you're being sarcastic. Never mind. I apologize.
Welcome.
Not the spice isn't too cheap anymore. Oh, you mean spice? I thought you were talking about Dark Souls 2.
Very well then.
Yeah, do you not find it just not fun though? Like playing
Very
these
well,
horribly uneven matches instead of actually having. Like, I find it more fun when there's like both players actually have a chance. And hyper mode, which boosts damage, you can one-shot a lot of bosses, including King Alond. Yeah, which is why I suspect they fixed hyper mode, or at least changed it in subsequent games. Still hoping they have an arena in Dark Souls 3 where no magic is allowed, like a special covenant that forbids magic, so it's just raw weapons. There's no balance patch in Demon Souls, even duped glitch is still there. Yeah, but you can have fun without, like, being, you know, an MLG pro. Like, I'm not great at these games, but I still find ways to have fun. And to, you know, outsmart other players and stuff like that. Most of my skill comes from just knowing the game better, having spent more time playing it. I still don't understand why this guy's down here. Like, maybe he's an important church person, locked away at the bottom of a tunnel, or at the bottom of a tower, similar to Havel, speaking of Dark Souls 1. Beast is one of the early... He locked himself out. This area I am not especially fond of. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. Hi, friends. Hey. See you later. Sorry I couldn't stick around and chat for very long. I like that half of those enemies die when you go up the elevator for no apparent reason. These guys are not pleased whatsoever. Sorry, friends. I auto-lost anyone who used magic barrier. So I had a lot of fun making those videos that I released for Christmas. Just looking through a lot of my really old, because most of the videos that I released were made from like really old Dark Souls 2 footage, like pre-Scholar of the First Sin. Follow you and fall to their death are dedicated. Oh yeah, maybe. I always thought that maybe there was just an issue with, like, you know, when you went up it registered them as being in like a bottomless pit or something, similar to like the dog glitch. But I guess, yeah, they probably follow you into the pit, which is even more hilarious. Ah, the lock shield. Very, very useful, it seems. I tried it on Ebertas. It didn't seem all that helpful, but against Logarius, yeah, that is a situation where I imagine it would be very helpful. But it's nice to have that confirmed. Stop shooting me, will ya? Please? Stop it! Must have a lot of stamina to do it, though, yeah. A very fair qualifier. I always grab this bad boy right here. I love this guy's hat. Greatest. What is a 3-minute spoiler for the story of the game? There really is no 3-minute spoiler for the story of the game. There are people on YouTube who have videos that claim to explain the story of the game in a small amount of time, but they don't really do any such thing. We have an ongoing playthrough where we discuss the story of this game on my YouTube channel, and it's currently at something like 20 hours, and we're still not even really close to finishing. So, and that's, you know, the point. That's why the game is designed the way it is, so that you have to actually work to get at the story. Sorry for not obliging, but it's far more complicated than you can discuss in 3 minutes. But if you know the plot of Dark Souls, it is somewhat similar. I do love From Software games, the only games I play, more or less. Okay, this guy's messed me up more than I care to admit. Not that guy, but the guy who comes through the mist afterwards. This guy. This guy is such a prick. There we go. Sometimes the game told me that I lost connection when I play online, and if you close the application, it'll freeze console for a while. I took away that you're a pawn in Dark Souls. Okay. Not sure what you mean by that. Oh, you mean the story. Yeah. See, if you were to summarize it in a sentence, that's actually a very apt way of putting it, Matt. Very apt way of putting it. It's obviously much richer and more nuanced than that. But yeah. In this game you actually have 3 options for your ending. But the ultimate, or at least one of the ultimate takeaways, in my view, is that, yeah, individual people, you know, don't really change the world. That's not how the world actually works. Excuse me for a second. God, that rifle guy. Chess, a pawn can become any figure. Touché. damned if you do, damned if you don't. Pretty much, yeah, that works too, Aaron. Depressing shit makes you feel powerless. These are all apt summaries, I think. And see, I love this part because if you ever want to get twin Bloodstone shards early in the game, just do this. If you have a weapon capable of doing it, that is. There we go. Ah, stupid brain sucker. So then we'll go up there and we just pick up the twin Bloodstone shards he was just guarding there. Look at this guy. Just walking against the wall here. Don't mind me, chap. I'll be just fine. It's not funny at all, but for some reason I find it funny. Goddamn dogs. X-Files meets Castlevania. No, you stay away from me, friend. Stay away. Thank you. Okay, so now we need to go get those twin Bloodstone shards. I love that, Kratos. It's amazing that they were like able to keep that under wraps. And so you see, if you come here without having done that, you would have to fight a brain sucker and a crow. But now, since we killed them from underneath, we can just waltz on over and grab ourselves twin Bloodstone shards. Don't mind if I do. It took me completely... I had no idea what to make of any of it. At the end of my blind playthrough, I was so confused. Like, so very confused. So I think we're gonna go to Hemwick first, I think, before fighting Vicar Amelia. I think that's the smart thing to do, and then we'll have access to runes. We do have a fair number of items to grab here first. Oh, I forgot about you, This guy's got a similar weapon to Gehrman, but it looks like a more traditional in the Souls game sense scythe. I know that scythes themselves look a little bit different, but... If you want to do NF, recommend to do in offline mode. I'm in offline mode already, Kratos. I already planned ahead for that. And we can't do Nightmare Frontier just yet anyway. So, but yeah, we are going to be doing offline mode for the whole playthrough. in spite of the fact that it has the password at the bottom of the screen right now. I just forgot to remove that. I'm really looking forward to trying the church pick now. It's not necessarily that they hate you. It's just that they've been given a job to do just the same as we have, right? ENB initially thought the enemy that a lot of people referenced early days is the scythe guy. Why not work with the church? Well, because the church isn't really a coherent institution anymore. The church leaders are long gone. We are basically the agents of a Great One indirectly. The Great One who etched the Bolt Hunter's mark into the back of our mind. This dangling upside down rune etched into one's mind, the symbol of a hunter. And that's why when you use the Bolt Hunter's mark, your character stares really closely at the piece of parchment, trying to remember what it looks like on the back of their head. So you see right here, Bolt Hunter's mark. It's the same thing, they stare at it. How does everyone... It's not that they know necessarily how to kill you, it's just that they're bloodthirsty, you know, nothings, essentially. That their base instinct is to attack on sight. Anyone who looks different than them, so that's what they do. Okay, this area can be rather... problematic. Kill first, ask questions later. We kill a Great One, yes, but there's more than one Great One. And there's no, like, you know, just as humans have different motivations, different factions of humans, just because two things are Great Ones doesn't mean that they're going to see eye to eye on things. How did you survive that? You cheeky bugger. Well, they're not it's not exactly Sith apprentice stuff, because the thing about the Great Ones is that it's impossible for a human to comprehend what it is that they do, what their goals are, what their values are. It's impossible for us to comprehend that, and that's why the frenzy mechanic is in the game. When you're being forced to confront something that your mind can't comprehend, and so therefore, what is accomplished by killing a Great One? Ask the other Great Ones, and you wouldn't be able to comprehend their answer anyway, basically. But it would seem as though the Great Ones have their own kind of power struggle the same way that humans do. And that we have been enlisted to take out one Great One at the behest of another. At least that's one interpretation of the story that may in fact be completely different now that the DLC is out. Hella drops here, which is nice. Because usually I just run through this area. Oh, by the way, your theory that Eileen became blood drunk when you failed to do her quest line is really interesting. It's, yeah, it's, because it really does seem like just the way she talks is completely nonsensical. And that, you know, that had to have been there to some degree prior to prior to her being severed from the dream. So if in fact, because I believe the context for that remark was, you know, the suggestion that we pass directly from the hunter's dream into the hunter's nightmare. Well, it's not really a theory, but it's a suggestion. Or possible interpretation of why it is she acts the way she does in that alternate endings of the quest line. These guys drop a lot of Bloodstone shards. But yeah, it does, I think, run counter to the idea that we pass directly from the Hunter's Dream to the Hunter's Nightmare. Well, yeah, there are things that,
Well, very...
that we actually have a label for, you know, how to describe that she was drunk with blood, whereas previously we had no such label. I'm gonna sell some of these Bloodstone shards. What happens when a player kills a Great One? It depends on many things. Because that requires explaining kind of how the endings work. But long story short, I think that in the Souls games, the slice that we play is just a moment in time, and that all of the things leading up to it were not necessarily the same, and the things that come after it are not necessarily the same. But because it's a game, you need to select the slice that you're going to allow the player to play. So what happens afterwards is very much open to interpretation, but you could wind up taking the place of Gehrman in the Hunter's Dream, or you could wind up becoming a Great One yourself. So, actually, I guess the only ending in which you kill a Great One is the one where you become a Great One yourself. So you become a Great One yourself. That's the answer. Yeah, Kratos, I've been wondering about that as well. I don't think so. I think Blood Addled would be like a layer, or perhaps a notch below Blood Drunk, because of the mechanics of the Blood Addled thing. In that, that it, you know, there's only a percentage chance, but I don't know. I've been thinking about what Redgrave said about how it's hard to even integrate the online mechanics, and that's something that I've long kind of thought myself. In contrast to Dark Souls, where I feel like the online mechanics work perfectly well. I won't go as far as what Redgrave said about having to throw it out, but there are some things that are a little bit difficult to say. You become a Great One, you can cast Dark Beat. Probably. I don't even think you'd have any need for Dark Beat. You just have a kill button, basically. That's funny, Matt. You can hear the graveyard murmurs. I can't wait. Alright, have a good night, Matt. It was nice having you here.
Then it's almost time.
I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Wait.
I assume that message, like having that message there. Some people on Reddit say the story of Bloodborne is even 100 years old. You mean 100 years old even? You have to kill Button until some hunter decides to murder you when you're minding your own business. At most, it's 50 years before the game. Yeah, the timeline is certainly shorter than it was in previous Souls games. But it's really hard to say. Because even though, you know, all the time is convoluted stuff doesn't technically apply to Bloodborne, there is still convoluted time stuff going on. Like when you resurrect Annalise, you're reversing the flow of time or something to that effect, whatever it says in the Japanese translation. Oh, this is bad, this is bad! Okay, I need to pay attention. Too enthralled by the lore talk. Yeah, things seem in a pretty advanced state of decay, but it's certainly in between. Like the timeline isn't as protracted as it is in the Souls games previously. I don't know if it's 50 years. I would probably be somewhere between 100 and 300, something like that. So we can get our weapon up to +5 now. Might do that before the boss fight, just to be sure. I hate you. Stupid crows. I have not, Cotentos. I believe I said hello to you, but if I have not, then hello. So first we're doing this, and then we're going to try a Soul Level 4 run. And then we'll do a Permadeath Soul Level 4 run. Or runs, I should probably say. But first we're starting with a Permadeath run. And if this fails, maybe Blood Level 4, or Soul Level 4, whatever it is. We'll see. Pacifist run, yo. That'd be interesting. If I just summon people. Oh, I hate this part. Did it. Yeah, I think he called it community run or something. Run by enemies instead of bosses, other than bosses. Yeah, I can do that. I think it'd be cool to do a community run too, but it's just hard to find a time that works for everyone to do those types of things. Probably gonna do the Chalice dungeons at some point, at least the first few. I think we need to beat Central Thumru in order to get the Shaman Bone Blades, either Central or Lower. I can't recall which. Budge. Fist of Gratia. Wow. Doesn't that only like do poise break? That'd be a tough run to do, I think. Oh, okay, does more. Oh, cool. Huh. I stand corrected then. Because I remember there was someone who said that they, like in the live stream, that they really regret upgrading the Fist of Gratia. I assumed that that meant it was only for stagger damage and that it didn't actually do any damage. I love that lady. Just pops out of nowhere. Oh no. Oh no. No, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. Hi, friend. Bye, friend. Hi, other friend. Bye, other friend. Oh, this... Not worth it getting the rune. Oh, they're not affected. Interesting. By the Punch of Blood cocktail. I don't know if this is smart. I don't think it is, but let's do it anyway. Damn it. I need to get the one that doesn't have blood all over it. Okay, that's the one I've already heard. This would be a fitting spot for it to end. Okay, I'll just... And where's your friend? Please. Grant us eyes. Wow, that's nonsense. Stupid mad ones, whatever the fuck they're called. Fuck. The other one got revived. This ain't good. I didn't realize she was still there. Fuck. Come on, she's gonna revive the other witch. Yeah, I don't think you need the night stage, it just needs to be 15 insight. Which also makes them an enormous pain in the ass to deal with in the chalice dungeons. A huge pain in the rear to deal with in chalice dungeons. Thank you, DFH. And now Diane with the weather. I had a feeling that if it were going to end with any boss of the early bosses, that it would probably be the Witch of Hemwick. But that's going to do it for today's stream. I don't know when I will continue this stream, but next time I continue, yeah, we'll go on with the Permadeath run, which so far so good. Yeah, well, the problem is the witches are impossible to get to in the chalice dungeons, because when you have over 15 insight, because the mad ones are everywhere. Yeah, the massive frame drops as well. Well, thank you all very much for joining me, and next time I see you on a live stream, we'll hopefully be continuing this run. So, thank you all very much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Where's my wave? There it is. Bye-bye.